Hi, I'm Rashid. I'm a teacher trainer certified by Nile Institute. I am here with one goal, is to help you with your teaching career, to help you teach with clarity, confidence, and professional purpose. Picture a teacher trainee after a lesson. The teacher says, your drilling was useful. And the trainee looks almost guilty, because somewhere along the way, they heard that drilling is old-fashioned. They heard it was mechanical. It was audiolingual. They heard modern teachers should avoid it at all costs. But here is the classroom problem. Your students understand the language perfectly, isn't it? They know what the phrases means. They know when to use it. They can choose the correct answer. Then they try to say it aloud. And everything falls apart. Would you mind opening the window? Becomes 6 separate zones. Would you mind open the window? Understanding is not the same as fluency, is not the same as retrieval, is not the same as production. On CELTA Delta, drilling is not praised because it exists. It is praised when it has a clear purpose. It is criticized when it becomes empty repetition. It is criticized when meaning is missing. Meaning is very important on CELTA and Delta courses. It is criticized when communication never follows. So today, we need a better answer. Not drills are dead and not drills are magic and we attack drills or drilling. We need to know when drilling helps and when drilling wastes valuable class time. We will separate the method from the technique. We will compare bad drills with useful drills, and we will finish with a sequence. A sequence you can use tomorrow. Before we discuss audiolingualism, ask one practical question. What load is this drill reducing? Is it helping the mouth? Is it helping the ear? Is it helping the rhythm? Is it helping memory? Is it helping a fragile form? If you cannot answer that question or these questions, the drill is probably just noise. Noise supported by classroom management. Now, separate the method from the technique. The audiolingual method was a complete system. It was a full view of language teaching. It used dialogues and mimicry, repetition, and substitution drills. It used transformation drills and minimal pairs. Of course, you know minimal pairs. It relied on immediate correction and it relied on teacher control. Behind all of this was a belief. Language learning is habit formation. Give the correct stimulus, shape the correct response, reinforce success, prevent errors, and habits will form. Most modern teachers reject that explanation, and they should do that. Language learning is more complex than that, more complex than habit formation. It is more social than that. It is more meaning-driven than that. But rejecting the method doesn't mean rejecting every technique. That is the most important distinction you must have or you must do. The method is historical. The technique is still available till now. We use it in Vietnam here. The real question is simple. What problem is the drill solving? The audiolingual classroom had a clear field. The teacher models dialogue. The students repeat the dialogue. The teacher breaks the language, the difficult language apart. For example, post office, to the post office, going to the post office, I'm going to the post office. Then the teacher gives a cue, for example. Let's give bank. Students respond immediately. I'm going to the bank, the same as the post office. Now let's change to library. I'm going to the library. Then the pattern changes. For example, she is going to the library. Then a statement becomes a question. For example, she is going to the library. Is she going to the library? So we just use patterns and play with patterns. There is pace in the lesson. There is accuracy in the lesson. There is control in the lesson, and you can understand the attraction. Speaking a language is physical. Pronunciation requires repetition. Fast access matters. So students need practice saying language, not just understanding language. But we agree, but the weakness is equally obvious. A learner can repeat perfectly and still fail in real life. They can say, I'm going to the library with perfect pronunciation and still not know how to ask for help when they are in the actual library, real library. They can transform sentences rapidly and still freeze in real conversations. When their interaction changes direction, they fail. They can sound fluent in chorus while hiding behind 30 students in the class. They never choose their own meaning. They respond accurately, but communication has disappeared. You don't know whether they are right or not. That is why audiolingualism lost influence. Language is not only habit. Learners need meaning, learners need choice, learners need intention, learners need interaction, learners need feedback, learners need opportunities to repair communication. So errors are not always bad habits in teaching. Sometimes errors show development. So the problem is not repetition. The problem is not repetition without meaning. The problem is repetition that never returns. Returns to what? Returns to communication, returns to purpose, returns to real use of language. So when does drilling still help? Drilling helps when meaning already exists, but form maybe remains fragile, maybe sound remains fragile, maybe speed remains fragile. Okay? Take, for example, a polite request. For example, would you mind opening the window? Students understand the meaning. The challenge here is connected speech. The challenge maybe is rhythm. The challenge is producing the phrase smoothly. You may backchain. You know backchain technique? You may backchain, for example, the window, opening the window. Mind opening the window. Would you mind opening the window? So then students practice real requests. Would you mind closing the door? Would you mind sharing the book? Would you mind turning down the music? Notice the sequence. You are not teaching politeness through drilling. Students already understand politeness. You are making the phrase easier to produce. You are making making it easier to retrieve, easier to use, and you don't change the complete sentence. You only change a part of the sentence to lower cognitive load. All right? For example, emergent language. A student says, I should go, but I didn't. So you reformulate the language. I was supposed to go, but I didn't. That phrase is useful. That phrase is worth keeping. A short drill helps students hear it, helps students shape it, helps students stress it correctly. With the stress, you help them with the stress. Then students use it themselves. So that is drilling in service of communication. Now, compare a bad drill with a useful drill. A bad drill begins from nowhere. The teacher writes a sentence on the board, the class repeats it endlessly, the teacher praises loud voices, wow, congratulations, good, very good, and lesson moves on. Students produce sound, but they may not have produced meaning. So a useful drill looks very different. The language has a reason. Students understand the meaning. The teacher models clearly. The drill remains short. The cues require small decisions. The teacher listens carefully. Then students use the language. For example, would you mind? The cue is simple here. Would you mind? Close the door. Students produce the request. Then they turn to a partner immediately and make real requests, like in real lives. Here the language immediately leaves the board and they are in real conversations. Remember this rule. Drills should be a bridge. Drills should never become a home. There are 3 traps you should avoid. The first trap is chorus confidence. Everyone sounds excellent together, but you have no idea who can actually produce the language. There are 20 students in the class repeating. So use individual drilling after chorus drilling. Keep it quick, keep it supportive, don't turn it into humiliation. Okay? The second trap is speed without thought. Fast responses can be useful, but students can stop processing meaning. And our main job is to attack meaning, use, and pronunciation. So build small choices. Choose the place, choose the person, choose the degree of politeness, and keep meaning alive all the time, meaning. The third trap is drilling too early, especially with new grammar. If students are still confused, repetition will not solve the problem. Their mouth is moving. Okay, their mouths move, but their minds are still organizing meaning, cognitive load. And what's your own judgment? Drilling feels productive, the room becomes loud, the room becomes synchronized, but unfortunately, volume is not learning. So don't misunderstand this. This is a big trap. So listen for attention, listen for accuracy, listen for transfer. That is why drilling works best after meaning is established, not before meaning exists. So here is a 5-step sequence, a sequence for communicative classrooms. Step 1 is model. Say the phrase naturally. Do not sound robotic. Naturally. Whether you are a native speaker or non-native speakers, just naturally. Step 2 is meaning. Check meaning quickly. And we have a technique, CCQ, concept checking questions. Use gestures, use a situation, translation if appropriate. So never drill mystery language. Step 3 is mouth. Drill the language. Use choral drilling. Use group drilling. Use individual drilling. First group, after individual, so to give confidence to students. Back chain if necessary, as I showed you. Mark stress is if useful. All these techniques are very important on CELTA and Delta. Step 4 is modify. Change one meaningful slot. Would you mind closing the door? Would you mind sending the file? Would you mind waiting a minute? Would you mind whatever? So students must think, not simply repeat, and lower the cognitive load as much as you can. Step 5 is move. Move immediately into communication. Okay, from the board to real communication. Use pair work, role play, task repeat, classroom routine. And remember, the language must leave the board into real communication situations, real situations. If one step disappears, you can usually feel the problem. No model creates weak copies. No meaning creates empty chanting. No move creates dead language. And remember the sequence. Model, meaning, mouth, modify, move. That sequence keeps drills connected. Connected to what? Connected to communication. So what should you do? What should you drill? Drill pronunciation features. Students cannot yet hear or cannot yet control. Sheep and sheep, and there is a book, Sheep and Sheep. Final consonants, like in Vietnam, they have problems with final consonant clusters. Contraction, sentence stress, weak forms. Drill high frequency chunks. Would you like me to? I was supposed to. Could you tell me where? That sounds like these are high frequency chunks. Drill classroom routines. Can you repeat that? I don't understand. How do you spell? These phrases pay rent. They pay rent every lesson, right? So drill emergent language after tasks, especially language students wanted but couldn't yet produce. Don't drill everything. Don't drill opinions. Don't drill stories. Don't drill entire conversations. Keep the living part alive. Drill only the part. Only. Never all. Drill the part that needs control, and be careful with the grammar. If the meaning is the problem, drilling will not solve it. If use is the problem, create communication. If speed is the problem, a short drill may help. If retrieval is the problem, a short drill may help. If pronunciation is the problem, a short drill may help, especially with group and individual drilling. It helps. Now return to the training. The question is not, did I drill? And is drilling allowed in the class on CELTA Delta? The better question is this: what load did the drill reduce? Did it help with the mouth? Did it help the air? Did it help the rhythm? Did it help memory? Did it help a fragile form? Then ask a second question after that. Where did the language go next? Did it go into a request, into a role play, into a task repeat, into a classroom routine? If the answer is yes, the drill served communication. If the language stayed on the board and dead there, that's the problem. And it was probably performance, not teaching. That is the modern position. Not drill worship, not drill shame. Drill was a purpose, has a purpose. Drill with a destination, drill with an exit route. And this leads naturally to the next method. If drilling trains the mouth and trains the ear, as we said, we come up with total physical response. And this may add body. If used badly, TPR becomes random. If used well, it helps language stick. Even before students are ready to speak, that is what we will explore in the next video. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I hope you found this video very helpful, and it is, especially for teachers who are going to study CELTA and Delta. This is really, really useful. See you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.